Hi, this is Mia, and it is Wednesday morning, and I'm printing for eBay, my eBay label. I did sell some of these envelopes. Actually, here's one right here that's loose. The bag on the outside is a little bit dirty. I might repackage that because I'm always scared that bugs or something are going to get in there. So I'm going to repackage it. I don't know. I have most things in crates. Some stuff we put in crates on purpose, and some stuff we put in crates because we're moving. And we didn't know the situation of, I don't know why we put it in crates. My boyfriend spent all our money on crates, and I say our boy, my boyfriend spent all of our money on, or all his money on crates and wire shelving. I guess they're called wire shelving units. We needed some of the flat things to go on the bottom. So this is the first video since last week. I did not post the last one. I can't remember what it was about. I have several notes from other videos that I did not upload either. So I think I want to try to move some of the videos off into, I don't know if I can do it with this new external hard drive called Buffalo. The other one is, I forget the brand. Right, I think it's right here. Hold on. It's not supposed to be down there like that. Oh shoot, oops. WD. I had one computer. I had two of the same external hard drive. I had like a blue one and a black one or something, and it was really confusing. It was like, this drive is not available, please insert, or it would try to do like a backup on it, and I wanted one for backup and one for like maybe cleaning off my phone, like for files to be moved over individually. I can't really remember. And I had a thumb drive or an external hard drive once. Computer died, came back. Everything was regular folders, but the subfolders were completely empty. So I lost like a lot of my stuff for my business. Let me go get these books from the library that I got. Hold on just a second. Alright, so I was just watching Invisible People, and I want to share their story because this guy keeps getting sick. I don't know what's happening. He talks about the homeless population. He keeps moving and getting sick, and he's previously homeless. And I'll show the books at the end. I have a history of homelessness and houselessness, homelessness, all because I didn't have the funds, or my mom had 2 funerals, and my mother-in-law died like a week before, maybe a week to 10 days before my mother died. And when I went to the funerals, my mom had one in Michigan and 4 hours from my house, and one in Ohio, which is maybe 5 or 6 hours from where I was. And during the time that I was at the funerals, the housing people somehow had given me some kind of, you need to write, if you're going to stay here during the summer, rent the room for half the price, because the board was only like $250 a month. I think if you paid on time, it was like $225. It was really cheap. Maybe $250. If you paid for a rent, it paid for your room and board, including the food, use of a shared phone, the showers, the water, all the utilities. It was basic. The parking is a really good deal. And I'm gonna cry. I came back and they said, oh, you have to get out by a certain day because your room, we rent it to somebody else. And my mom died. I was 21. My mother-in-law died. My ex-husband was he 23 or 24 at the time? So I didn't have my birthday yet. I would have been 22 that year. He might have been 25. Still young. It's too young to have no direction. You don't have strength and family. We didn't, and neither of us. I get together with people that don't have strength and family. So I'm gonna jump around because that's really depressing. I didn't need to talk about that as much. Just the fact that this movie, I don't know what the name of the title is. Oh, I have it on my phone. They said the person that he's talking to has a YouTube channel is the Panda, I think. Homeless YouTuber in New York City. I just want to share both of their names, invisible people. I can't stand it. I've had so much struggle. Every time I lost my job and got laid off and got in car accidents, and I went to and had abuse where I had to try to flee or not take the money of the person who was paying my rent because of abuse. Section 8 raised my rent several $100s more. The income is 0 and you raise my rent. You're already overcharging me and they give me a $5.50 penalty every month. I'm getting away from it. I'm going to have to accept notary jobs anywhere. So there's a place called Berlin. If it's an hour and a half, it's an hour and 17. That's not that far. I rather only drive an hour. I guess an hour 17. So I might accept the signing, except it's a refi on Friday at like noon, and I'm supposed to be at my other job. That's the problem. In that like 2 hours in the opposite direction. But I'm gonna have to start accepting these. I got sick going back to work prematurely. After having COVID, I went back to work, and it was about 18 degrees outside, and I work mainly outdoors, but I tried to not be outdoors, and I did a lot of the cleanup. But it was super windy in like the low 20s one day, and then it was supposed to be colder and windy the next day. So I was taking out trash and picking up trash and hauling stuff from one place to the next and put in the dumpster. And I wish I wasn't outside on the water after being sick and feverish in bed. Like, that just seems lame. It's not like it's an office where I can be by myself with my negative COVID test is still feeling sick. If you had a low viral count, but you got stressed out, like with herpes or with, even though TB is bacterial, you get stressed out, you get hungry, you get too cold, you're sleeping on the street, then your levels of your immune system change and the microorganism flourishes better, and then you're like reactivating the illness that's stuck in you. You know what I mean? It's walled off somewhere in the nerves or in the lungs or in the throat, or because how do you know like the COVID doesn't stay in your throat for Omicron? And that nasal right here, the 2 negative tests I just got were the nasal, not the nasopharyngeal, and I had 1 positive nasal and 1 nasopharyngeal. Anyways, that's a different story. There's no help right now for COVID. My work crumpled up my paper and ignored it. They refused to raise my income, working all holidays, nights, early morning, 4:30 in the morning sometimes, working every weekend, not letting me come to work Monday through Friday mornings, but it's like some of the work that I'm scrambling to do on the weekends, I could stretch out and do some, say, Tuesday prep, do some stuff, but I could talk to my supervisor about that. But if I can get more by driving all over the freaking state and plan my trip back home. Alright, back to houselessness. I gotta go back home and try to move. I wanted you guys to walk through my journey of trying to buy property. I am so desperate. I said, after you buy 2 properties, leave that one job. And I have a bunch of jobs, so you can guess which one it is. eBay. I said, you buy anything. Buy anything. Remember when the maps, was it Yahoo Maps or something, they used to have, or MapQuest, they used to have property for sale when you typed in. It would have like rent and properties for sale for that actual address. I had done a bunch of surveys. Something's telling me to cash out on some. I had forgotten to pay my PayPal credit. Now, I didn't forget to pay it. I paid the minimum a few days ago. But I realized it's the 9th and it's due the 8th. And I was like, I didn't get a reminder, because if you think you paid, you might not have paid the minimum balance. Make sure you check it before the deadline. And I suggest checking it before the deadline. Not midnight, not 9 p.m., not 6. I've seen some things saying such and such before 3 p.m. or something. Like, just be really careful if you're paying a bill. I like if they count it as before midnight your time. But when I'm on the Pacific time, sometimes stuff ends. You're like, oh, it ends at 6. You're like, whatever. And you go back and look at it like a scholarship application. Oh my gosh. 6 o'clock Eastern time, or 6 o'clock, like, European time, oh my gosh. I'm, like, picking at my toenail, and that's bothering me. Okay, let's go on eBay. I have an appointment today at 11, so that's 3 hours. I have a lot today, so I basically had, and I need to go to the post office, so I have an appointment at 11. I have a class from 12:30 to 1:30, and I have another webinar or something from 2 to 3. And we have a Zoom meeting at 6. So I basically have from now till 11, and from 3 till like 5. Now till 10:30, and 3 till, say, 5:30. I'm so tempted to go and get some food to put in the dehydrator. I gotta deal with what I have. And I'm missing my library card. And now that I slept on it, I figured, oh yeah, it is in here. I'm so, not trying to call myself names. It's a pocket guide. Why does that have to be in there? No wonder I can't shut my bag. My library card was here the whole time. My God. So, okay. Let me put it in my wallet. I'm so wanting to go thrifting at the Goodwill. I can walk there. There's another thrift store. I'm going to ask my boyfriend to walk to that thrift store. Do you ever get itchy where you want to shop? Something told me to buy some jewelry the other day from Goodwill auction, and I did not. I bid on some stuff, but something told me to buy some jewelry, and I bid on some other stuff, and I bought this ugly freaking jade. Looks like an old chicken nugget. Oh, it looks ugly. I want to say this is a great seller. Sold it, got it here fast, packaged it up well, but it is the ugliest. And it was a really bad picture, and when I get it for real, the picture was low quality, but the items. But I love it. I was obsessed with it. Let's do it on the computer, guys. So I am in a situation where I wanted to be like, what are those GoFundMes that I started that nobody gave to? I posted them on Facebook, and nobody said anything, or nobody asked me what's going on, that you need to put up a GoFundMe. Part of it was because the rent is $2,000, and I'm going to actually call right now. Hold on. So one of the numbers I have says voicemail box not set up. The second one says mailbox is full. I've been calling for months. The mailbox has been full. I've been calling the other office. There's like a management, and there's like a county-wide or something management, statewide, and then there's a like professional management company, and then there's another company. I was going to take a shower and wash my hair before 6, but now I feel like doing it now. I just feel like really dirty. My hair is bothering me. My hair is finally like still sticking up, but it's finally like settling down a little bit. Like when I wash it, it'll look at this band of gray, and it's like all short. I keep jumping all over the place, so I need to write down what to put in the description and in the title. So I keep trying to figure out this housing thing, so I'm going to have to start writing letters. There's like a long straight hair in the windowsill that's weirding me out. I had this weird dream. I don't want to go into detail because it could have been upsetting. Like, do you ever have a dream about somebody else and then you wonder, are they doing something behind your back that caused you to have a dream? Hold on. I should have took more recycling out before 8. I'm gonna do it for tomorrow. I chugged my tea too. So I was in the dream. I was with my partner. I went to this house, and there was a lady there. In real life, we have discussions about jealousy, but if every man you know, at all different ages, from teenage, like adult, like 18, 19-year-olds to 50, almost 60-year-olds, if you're me and every man has cheated on you, and every man that you talk to, like dating, has a history of cheating on their partner or their spouse, why would I? So jealousy is one thing, and setting boundaries and being like, oh, heck no. I think that's two completely different things. I don't want to talk about it in the way of abuse, so that's what came to mind. And I've gotten in arguments, and I've spoke up about this, because when you're in an abusive situation, it's so much more complicated. But if someone let's say it's different, and they just slap you on the shoulder. Let's just say it's not abuse, but it hurts. You're like, that's funny, slap. I had somebody punch me. This blonde hair, blue-eyed lady, she goes, boom, in medical school. She assaulted me, and she goes, I just feel like punching you. Now that I said that out loud, this lady is a doctor. I should have reported that. It hurt. My shoulder hurts from different reasons that probably contributed to the overall poor health of my shoulder. I remember I was at like a computer kiosk where you stand up, boom, and she was one of those people that works out. Like, it's not, I mean, anyone punching you is something, but somebody who's got like rock hard, solid muscles and a super fit body. There's a few things at medical school I should have reported to the police. Anyways, so you live and learn, right? But let's say that person keeps doing it and thinks it's funny, and I say stop, and they keep doing it, and you keep hanging out with them. First of all, you spoke up. Second of all, you hung out and hoped that they would listen to you. If they don't, you're going to have to either report them, call the police. I mean, you could sit them down, give them another chance, second chance, third chance, or just like avoid them. If you're at school, you can't avoid people really, because you have classes where you're all together. So a daily check-in. I think I forgot one yesterday. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this is from February 6th. I thought I didn't do one of my check-ins. Be safe. Yeah, I didn't. I'll do it. So if you have something where you're known to be hurt by a friend slapping you around, thinking they're playing, or they don't realize their strength, and your friend has a history of slapping people around, and the people complain, and she's always hitting me, and she thinks it's cute, blah, 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 right? So you're both coming in, one as the person who's enduring this pain, and the other who's being the person who's causing the pain, and you get together, and you know you're I don't know, say weaknesses. You know your habits or your past history, I guess. And if you see them start to raise their hand, you nip it in the bud right away. Say, no, I'm not going to put up with that. That's not something that I'm going to put up with. But if you let it go and you have a threshold, first they lightly tap you, then they slap you, then they punch you, then they haul off and or like hit you with a stick, like it keeps escalating, doesn't mean that you didn't say anything early on. And if you talk to your loved ones or your partner and you say, hey, it's you give an inch, they take a mile, period. Okay, guys, that's what I'm getting at. So then they're thinking, oh, it's not such a big deal. People don't like Christians. Some people don't. People don't like certain olive groups. There's some interesting books out there about the whole connecting with, you have a spouse and connecting with your secretary at work, and an affair happens, or somebody's crying on your shoulder because they broke up with their boyfriend, or someone's buying someone donuts and coffee every morning. You get this spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical bond where you could go to work and give your secretary flowers but never give your wife any Christmas present, no Valentine's present, no birthday present. And so you're just like shoving your spouse who's there, like for hetero women and men relationship. I'm coming from my experience, so I don't want to speak for other couples. It could just be generic depending on the rules. Someone can do so much for the other one and not be appreciated, and then have that person take any money or handsomeness. I see males get married or get with someone, they got cleaner clothes, they shave more, they're more cut, they're not as hungry, whether it's because someone's cooking for them or someone's going to food pantry or someone's working and taking you out to eat. And the people will say, oh, look at that guy, he's driving a decent car and he's got this job and he's got money in his pocket. You don't know if that's all from him or if his girlfriend is throwing money in his pocket. And he's going, you're saying, hey, I got money to put in your pocket in case you get stuck somewhere and you don't have gas and you don't have money in your account. Or the gas station's cash only, which you should always, how many times have you guys been in a cash only gas station? And then they're going to spend that on someone else. And then they're going to say, oh, I broke down and ran out of gas and called such and such from work and she came and gave me a ride. How do you know they're not having relations at her apartment or her condo or her house? Because she's pretty, she gets more money than me, so she gets a big old house for being a high school grad. Like, just because she's pretty. Like, looks take you a long way, let me tell you, in this world. I'm sorry. It's, I'm in the bottom of the pile. I almost got a piece of metal, a sharp metal at my one job. It was about 9 feet tall, and it just fell. And I just happened, I don't know if right before it, I was doing something, I stepped out of the way, but I looked up and it was like right in front of me, like inches in front of my feet. It would have sliced my face right in half. And I know that people will say, no, my looks, you ruined my face, how would I do? They will kill themselves sometimes. Some people are born with different deformities. Some people just have a crooked nose, whether they're born that way or got in a fight. Different diseases. Having your eyes. You see somebody with like a little bit of buck teeth, a little bit of like, oh, that person looks like an idiot. But someone looks almost identical that doesn't have that. Like, oh, that person is the queen of the, beauty pageant. It's like, and they're going to lift that person up to be a actress and a model, Doesn't have to have an ounce of brain. That's what's hard, that we focus on that so much. It's so superficial and vain. But yeah, you give an inch, they take a mile, and so you nip it in the bud before you get started and have someone think something. And when they think something and see it on TV, hear about their friends, they say, it's normal for me to do that. And it's like, you know what, it's normal for me to leave your butt too. So, and nobody is going to say that I'm jealous. You're trying to get to where you're not jealous. You're trying to get to where you're have no reason to be jealous. We were watching that movie Belly. Go watch it. There's some scenes in there where the guy is two-timing. And I watched that with my partner, and I feel like every time we watch something like that, that's another thing that says, oh, that's what men do. But how many of those men, I don't know how Easy E got HIV/AIDS, but how many of those people die because of that promiscuity, you know? What about the guy from Queen, HIV/AIDS, Freddie Mercury? Who else? Who's that actor that... Was it one of the... was it Emilio Estevez's brother? Was it Charlie Sheen? Wasn't Charlie Sheen HIV positive? Sorry, don't quote me on that. I need to look that up. But promiscuity... In medical school, one of the teachers told me, and this might not be their opinion, so I'm not quoting this from anything. They said that people were more shocked to find out they were herpes simplex virus positive than HIV positive. They were horrified to have herpes lesions and be herpes positive. But HIV, they felt like nowadays it's like they can do the drugs. You see it on TV commercials. I want to start a blog series. I don't know if I can categorize them. I'll see if I can do it through my Tower of Health LLC, because my Mia Orange is actually listed as Tower Health. So that one, I need to figure out what to do about that. But I would like to do like homeopathy and botanical medicine. Just have a little disclaimer, but to get more information out there, you guys. I didn't get on eBay to look at the land for sale. There's someone called Lots of Land. I never bought from this person. The price of everything's gone high. The cheapest lots that I've seen around here, somewhere on the market for 9 months. Some of them dropped in price half. Even if people are like, that's a horrible house. The thing is, there's a house there for $50,000, and it might only be a quarter of an acre, or maybe it's a half an acre, which you usually see. An acre last year was last early part of 2021 was $100,000. And that's nothing on it. No septic, no sewer, no water. Maybe it had water, sewer close by. No electricity. So you're going to have to pay for a well, electricity, and septic and sewer, or sewer. That hair on the windowsill is really bothering me. This gets me all flustered again. If you got a crappy freaking house that needs to be demoed, and it's 2-bedroom and it has a septic that's approved for 3 or 4 bedroom, what if you throw a 2 or 3 bedroom trailer next to the house, remodel the house, or tear it down, or turn the house into a shed? This is now a workshop, and the house is going to be this trailer, or you're going to build a log cabin and sell the trailer and have someone remove the trailer. You know what I'm saying? Or even get a smaller trailer. Like in this county, I don't think you can put an RV there. There's got to be people doing something. Like, there's not as much tall trees as there are in some parts. But what do you do when you're really poor? You pay every few years. You pay hundreds. 12 years, you're paying more than... So every year, you're paying 25 grand. Every 4 years, you're paying 100 grand. Every 8 years, you're paid 200 grand. And it goes higher every year. 16 years I've been renting. So 18 years I've been renting. So in 16 you're paying over $400,000 in rent. Over $400,000 in rent. 16 years ago you could have bought a house in Portland for a little over $100,000. And your rent, your mortgage would have been $300, $400 a month. 3-bedroom, 1 bath, not that big of a house, but a house that you own. So what do you do when you're poor and you're on the brink of houselessness and you're working as much as you can? I'm trying to accept all of these loan signing jobs. Nobody's. I'm accepting them. I'm putting it in my calendar to keep that spot open. Not one of them has done the signing with me. And I took a couple weeks off when I had COVID, and I didn't start accepting them until I tested negative. And then you just fall like to the bowels. And I was sick before I got the test. I couldn't get my hands on the test, and it was Martin Luther King Jr. holiday, and I was traveling from all the jobs, the notary, the birthing, the county job, the naturopathic, everything I was doing. So I got a lot of work ahead of me, guys. I'm gonna start crying. I feel like God has a plan for me, but I feel like this is the most challenging. When you go to the government and you do a hearing because they charge you rent when you had 0 income, and this guy, supervisor, I have his number in my phone, I hope I have his name, he said, if you call back here and ask for lower rent again, I'm going to raise it even higher. I wish that call was recorded and saved. I am about to get a lawyer. I have a letter from my dad, an email that says that he's no longer giving me money. I couldn't even turn in that email because they're going to raise it even higher. This is not the way Section 8 is supposed to be, a percentage of your income. When your income is 0, your rent should be 0. If they need to average it and you just lost your job and they need to say, well, instead of $900 a month, we'll charge you $600 because you're now subtracting 0 for this month, but you had regular income the past 2 months. But don't say, oh, you lost your job 3 months ago, your rent is $900, we're going to make it $1,500. And I'm about to hire a lawyer, like, right now. So I'm going to get a piece of paper. Why do you think people get houseless? They save money for a down payment. They save money to buy cash on the land. In your rent, you get all these people playing power with you by making you pay even more money than is not legal. All they have to do is get in their computer and write a number. And they don't care if you're sick. They don't care if you're got 2 young kids, and they go against they'll pick and choose who they allow. Somebody got an extra bedroom paid for because they had snoring. 2 people that don't work. 2 old people on welfare. They didn't work and they got an extra bedroom. They had 2 people in a house, a 3-bedroom. I had 3 people, a teenage girl and a teenage boy, and they told us we had to share rooms and that we were penalized, and we have at least more than one of us has disabilities on the American with Disability Act. And we had struggles getting mental health, and when we did, we went to a different doctor because we couldn't get counseling, or we couldn't get a psychologist, or we couldn't get to school. I was trying to get to school since 2004 to send my son up to the diagnostic back then the school had to do a write-up. Like, that's when my mom, she had to do the write-up for the ADHD, so that then the school nurse could do a referral to the doctor for whatever it was. So I got denied every single time. The teachers were ignorant. They didn't know the heck what not ADHD, what autism and all this different challenging things, and it is. And so when we get a diagnostic code and neighbors saying, hey, why don't you guys have disabilities, you guys shouldn't get that $550 disability, you shouldn't get that penalty, you need to have that room paid for because your situation causes you to have that extra room. And the housing before that was like, oh, they worked in housing for years, and it used to be illegal to put a girl and a boy over a certain age in a room together. And they could still say, well, put them in the room with the parents or whatever. I had a guy tell me that his house isn't big enough, the supervisor, and that he had his kids in the basement. So you're going to tell me to put my kids in the basement? We don't have a basement, but you need a closet and a window with an egress so that you could get out during a fire or emergency, or someone else can get in. You're not just in some base. If you have a basement, you got to dig it out so that someone could get out the window. They had to dig it out from the outside and then make it window big enough to get in and out of. And looked at a house. Whose house did we look at that had a basement like that? I can't remember. I feel like the bathroom was super moldy, whatever it was. So you get to tell me, I took a ready to rent class when I was homeless. One of the times I was homeless, and they said, "Oh, this will look good." I mean, how are you gonna do an application if you haven't had rent in so many? Where were you living? In a shelter, in a car, in a tent? How are you gonna have anyone give your landlord get a letter saying that you paid your rent or that you didn't pay your rent? They said we are not allowed to have a bedroom without closets and without an egress. And I was like, the same place that taught this class, this is one of the outreach places, also had it where they put us, the kids, in one room, and I had to sleep in the kitchen living room, like right next to between the front door. It was really small, like the front door, and you couldn't open the refrigerator all the way because the bed was touching the refrigerator. So your bed is right next to the stove, and it was only 2-burner. That it kept us from sleeping on the street. And you would think that if you're homeless like that in a shelter, that you're just pitiful and that you're not working. I was working the whole time. I had to leave the job because the social worker said your job, the coordinator, is friends with your ex-husband who you fled from, and you have to give her your address and all this stuff. Because I was still having my mail go to the old shelter. Like, you can't keep sending your mail here to come pick up. You got to be done with this place. So I had to start using my regular address. And you think that these people are being bums. I was working. I had my kids in school. I was trying to get back to school to go to med school. And they charge you, I estimate 90% of your rent. 90% of your income is your rent, no matter what your income is. And so they check your income, and then that 10% you use for your utilities. So you're not using lights, you're not watching TV, you're not putting the heater on unless you have to. You're paying for basically the refrigerator and making mac and cheese every night like I used to. And I feel bad for Annie's mac and cheese every night. So you're going to pay, and you're going to use any change to try to buy toilet paper and put gas in your car. And that's what we did. Chick box bottles. You buy stuff with food stamps, water bottles and stuff. so that you can buy toilet paper and female products and diapers, and then you're struggling, you're not getting clothes. Just people give their clothes to Dress for Success. I've contacted Dress for Success since 2004. I've never gotten accepted. I've contacted them even the past 2 years. So you're going to pay rent. You're not going to have money. You're going to get free clothes from clothing piles of social service agencies. You can't afford to wash the clothes. All these places have pay laundry. You hope they don't have bed bugs and scabies. You go in shelters, people have lice. My kids got lice. Other people were shaving their kids' hair. The lady who helped me move, the only one person that helped me move, said she had got scabies from the place she was staying at. And you really don't have dignity. They treat you like a criminal. They take all your money. They treat you like a criminal. And they say, do what we say or you get kicked out. And if you get any word that your housing waitlisted comes out, they put like a 72-hour notice on your door or something, or vacate the property. And so you're like happy that you got accepted somewhere, but it's not like you can pick and choose. It's like you take that place or live in the street. They're not going to let you say, oh wait, my kids are in the school district, let me wait. I did one at Neighborhood House, or I did one at Central City Concern, and I did one at Friendly House. Or Friendly House and Neighborhood House was at the same time. So it would have put us one at Northwest Portland and one at Southwest Portland. I'm glad I did Southwest because my kids got in the Odyssey program. I'm going to cry, guys. They treat you like criminals, and they're like, you don't want to do anything wrong. And then if anything happens where you forget to turn your paperwork in, or you forget that you're supposed to change your income when you get a job, like say you get laid off a job and you get a job and your other job paid a lot more per hour, but you didn't realize like one day you got holiday pay or something because you didn't realize they paid holiday pay. I can never get my employers to tell me exactly what you're getting paid, and sometimes the timesheet doesn't say it. It just says from this date to this date, and this is how much you got. And you could go over like $10. You could get in trouble and go to jail because you didn't realize that you were getting that much money. Anyways, I'm gonna go, guys, because hold on. Every time I got people that had money, if you smoke and drink and eat fast food and joyride and go on vacations and go to movies and shop for all these different household things, like you want to change your decor every 3 months and change the tablecloths and the dishes, and I say, oh my gosh, I'm at a church parking lot at my church and I have no gas money. Does anyone have $1 or $2 I could at least get home? Where do I live? Like 30 miles away from the church. Everyone will just turn their nose up. No, we're not giving you any money. We're all going out to eat without you. We know you don't have money. We don't invite you. We're going to order pizzas and watch the football game. We're going to go send our kids to the tanning booth after we write a permission slip because they're under 18. All the things, I didn't necessarily ask for money, but I've been in desperate situations where I could tell somebody that I was struggling. I think this lady named Edie, I believe she did give me $5 once for gas. Sometimes I was out of gas and I looked like some God said, give this lady $5 bill. So right now you'd get maybe 1.25 gallon, $3.89, $4 a gallon. You get at least a gallon of gas. Can you go? If you only get 10 miles per gallon, you're not gonna get home. You need like 3 gallons of gas. Shoot, truth. Anyways, I appreciate. There's a man that gave me gas, and this lady Edie, I believe, gave me gas $5 before. And it is in there. I feel like humans, it's like They want to watch TV. They don't want to go to work, but we're like, shoot, they can't smoke and drink and eat and go through the drive-thru and go to Starbucks and put gas in the car and go entertain and pay their bill. They're saying, oh, I better go to work because I have to maintain this. It's like a selfish, like if you were a wild hunter or gatherer, you're gonna, part of your tribe or part of your family is gonna go out and hunt and gather, and someone else might do some farming, and someone else is going to help take care of the kids, and someone else is going to be an elder and help train up the younger generations, and someone else is going to be a medicine person and they're going to help deal with the medicine and keeping the people safe, and someone else is going to be in charge of the dogs and wolves, someone else could be in charge of any kind of livestock or chickens, someone else can be in charge of building. So you have a severe selfishness to stay alive long enough to breed, and then you do everything you can that your offspring are healthy and alive so that they can get to breeding age and have them breed and learn the skills. So I feel like Native men, I feel like indigenous, those of us, everyone came from some kind of indigenous group. We all have this innate need to be selfish in order to keep yourself alive from starvation, to clean water, having clean water, having shelter, dealing with the weathers and storms, dealing with invaders. So you have the big invaders, which are other tribes or Europeans trying to kill you, and you have small invaders, which are microorganisms that are trying to kill you, viruses and bacteria and mold and parasites and giardia and stuff that causes cholera and all this. So you're going to be like, so nowadays it's dog eat dog. If I could get a buck, I'm going to fight somebody for a loan signing. Someone's taking $40 for in driving 4 hours to do a refi with scan backs at 6 a.m. or 8 p.m. some ridiculous time. And I'm going to try to fight that job, but to get it for $60 or $100 more, like fighting over something. And then I get mad that that person's driving 2 hours to take $40 and that I'm right here and can go back and forth and get this stuff done in a timely manner and get it scanned and, know the area and have a good positive thing, and then that person's going to get hired. And so it's like, if I would accept the $40, then I might get hired for the next job and the next job and the next job. And if they all stay at $40, I'm going to end up being, my credit card is going to go up because I'm not getting even the gas money to get there and back. I'm not going to be able to pay for the toner for my printer. I'm not going to pay the electric bill that's paying for the internet and everything that you need to do the signing. Paper, like go to Walmart and try to find paper, or legal size paper. That stuff is super expensive. You could be really cheap and spend like $4 or $5 on a ream of 8.5 by 11, but the other one is Staples is what, at least $15 a ream. Let's look it up. To Instacart. Instacart said they were giving me a coupon and they didn't. I'm going to send them a chat again. $10 off your next. Oh, they did give me. It just popped up, man. $10 off your next order over $35. So I forgot to use my $30 coupon. So I'll say legal printer paper. So the Staples brand 8.5 times 14, 500 page ream, 500 count ream is $16.99 plus tax, and then there's a cream pastels for $17.99, and then I don't have any other brand. The 8.5 by 11 98 bright is $13.99. So multi-purpose paper is $7.99 on sale, usually $10. 11 by 17, $23.99. That's too big. And the cheapest one, it looks like about $7 on sale. Let me go back to that. So I went to Staples last time and I bought paper because I ordered 3 reams from Walmart one time. This was time before last, and I got one of them, and the 2-pack never came. I hope they credited me back, give me my money back. And then the next time I came, I saw here that there was 3 or 4 reams available, or there was reams available. I said, should I order it for pickup? Like, no, let's go in and get it. I spent an hour in there going back and forth, looking at all the paper, looking in where the DVDs, they had some different Brother brand. I asked people, and they're like, ooh. And then I said, oh, I should have ordered it. So I needed the paper, so I went to Staples and maybe paid $17 for 1 ream of paper. If you do a refi, I usually have, if you have to do it all on legal, I usually have at least, I'll say average of 150 pages. Printed times 2 is 300 sheets. So the ream is 500. So it's a little bit like, so 1,000 would be 6. So it would be like a bit like less than 3/4, like 2/3 of $17 plus tax. So we'll just round it up to 20. I'm not doing my math. Oh, like 6, 6, 18. Let's just say $12 for the paper you printed. At least $12. And they want to give you $30 for the refi when you just printed $12. If you want to do the ink, the tape, the packaging supplies, the clips you bring, the manila envelopes, the having to order the other envelopes to send it UPS or FedEx. And say you spent $15, it took you 5 hours of your time, and it took you $30 worth of gas. So the $20, $15 plus $30, $45 just straight up you just paid. That's not counting your internet, that's not counting your E&O insurance, that's not counting your licensing fees, the course fees that you invested. So you're paying $45 out of pocket, and they want to pay you $40. And that doesn't include the 5 hours of time that you spent. 2 to 3 hours doing the refi. You can do a refi faster, but they might have a lot of questions. But if anything, an hour driving, an hour coordinating and downloading the documents, an hour putting flags on the documents, plus the other, including the time that it takes once you come back and scan it and take it to drive it back out to the FedEx spot, and then the 2 hours that you're with the customer. Like I said, that could be shorter than 2 hours, but it's at least, some people said they went in and out in 15 minutes. But I feel that you come in, you take your coat off, you introduce yourself, you get the papers on the table, everyone gets a pen out, you give them your business card, you tell them how it's going to work, you get this out, you do stamps. Even if they make a couple phone calls or they say, oh, this page is wrong, we'll flag it and write a note and come back to it. It's at least an hour and a half. Some people, like I said, they fly through that stuff, and some people don't flag it beforehand. So even if it was an hour of driving plus, we'll say an hour of driving and only an hour. Let's say it was only 2 hours, but you still spent $45 on the gas, and maybe so yeah, it would be like more than 30 minutes, 45 to an hour in an SUV, and $15 on the paper itself. legal paper, you're going to be getting paid $0, but you should be getting paid. $10 an hour is really low for a professional position, but you should at least get $10 an hour, which would put it at $65 for just 2 hours of work at a really low scale. I don't even think that's minimum wage in this state. I think minimum wage is more than $10. It should be like $20 an hour. So the bare minimum should be $45 plus $20 an hour. $85. That's a real low end. That's a real low end. The scan back should be $25. It should be at least $15. Anyways, I'm going off the numbers. I'm not that good at adding in my head, sorry, or dividing. Bye, guys.